Good morning, everybody. It's Roland Comtois, and by my watch, it is 11:10 and a half or something. 11:11. It's Roland Comtois. We're here live. It is July something or June something. June 13th. And we are live here. I'm just waiting for you to click in this morning, check in, and be part of our live Facebook broadcast here from my office. And I'm very happy to be here with you this morning. So a lot of exciting things to talk about, purple papers to share with you, and a lot of other things. So as soon as you click in, give me a thumbs up, let me know where you're listening from, so I can give you a little shout out this morning as we go on this very wonderful journey together. I want to thank you as always for being a part of my experience, for being part of my journey, for being a part of my life. And you certainly don't know really how you have influenced my life. You have given me an opportunity to be here with you this morning, and that I feel very grateful about. So thank you so much. Now, I wonder if you can see right behind me this beautiful statue of a Native American woman. I frequently talked about Tulia, my mentor and teacher. Well, I purchased that for her probably 20 years ago, and I gave it to her, and when it was time to clean up and clear out her meditation room, I went back in the room and it was in the same shape, in the same condition that it was when I gave it to her, and I knew that it had to come back home with me. So right behind me is that beautiful statue of this Native American woman, this medicine healer, this energy of love and support. So she stands there looking over my shoulder, looking at you this morning, sending you a lot of energy. So I want to thank you so much again for being here. I'm excited to be with you this morning, and I want to wish you all a beautiful day before I get too far into my experience. To everyone that I met in the last week or so, the lots of people that I met from Truro, Massachusetts to Smithfield, Rhode Island, thank you so much for being part of my experience. And for those of you that are waiting for me to come to Maryland, I will be there next week in Easton, Maryland, and St. Michael's, Maryland, and then in, I think, around Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, that event is already sold out. So if you want tickets about those events or information about those events, go to my website, rolandcomtois.net. But there was a moment that I have to talk about that happened when we were in P-Town. It was probably, I have a lot of profound moments when I'm doing these things, when I'm offering messages to people, but it was that one moment that you come to the realization you're really not a kook. You're really not nuts when that kind of thing happens. And there was a woman in the room who apparently had seen me many years before, maybe 8 or 9 years before. I don't remember the number right now. And I walked up to her and I said, "Your father wants me to buy you a doll?" And she said, "Well, I don't play with dolls." I think she had that kind of reaction. And then I went on to say, "No, your father wants me to give you a doll. And he wants me to give it to you like you're a little girl and it's your 11th birthday. And I'm supposed to buy this doll for you." And I thought to myself, I don't really have time to go buy dolls. I don't have that kind of time, but I felt like it was important for me to talk about it. So I said, "I have to buy you a doll. It's a little doll. It's for your 11th birthday. And it has to have a little dog attached to the doll." Now, I don't know. I haven't bought dolls since Caitlin was 3 years old, 23, 24 years ago. I don't even have any idea where to look or what to do, but I had to get it. And I felt this pressure, this energy to say it to her, and I told her that she had to have it. And once she got past the idea that she never played with dolls, and once she got past all that stuff, it became it was very understandable about what was happening. So there we are in a room in this beautiful town, and a girl who had been searching for her father and apparently had a message from him before, maybe 10 years ago. And there we were in the room again, and he was talking about her 11th birthday, and I had no idea what was going on. And then she tells the audience. She tells the audience that her father died just after her 10th birthday. And he had never given her a doll, a dolly. And I thought to myself, did I just make that up? Did I just make all that up, or what happened? It was as if I became the father. It was as if, hey, hello, as if I became that moment. And all that guy wanted to do was to bring energy to his little girl. And he did that. I see people are signing in from Fall River, Massachusetts. Well, next week I'll be in Swansea for a big fundraiser for the Fall River Domestic Abuse Coalition. So I will be in Swansea next week doing an event, and the ticket prices are cheap. I mean, $40 I think it is, or $45 to have that opportunity. So that you can get that on my website as well. So a couple of shout outs this morning. I didn't eat breakfast this morning, and apparently you can tell that I haven't eaten breakfast because I can't get my words to go. Michael in Coventry, thank you for listening, and I appreciate, Michael, that you tune in every weekend, every week to be part of this experience. And Colleen in Florida, and Courtney in Cranston, and Kathy in Johnston, and Joan, hello Joan in Cranston, Rhode Island, Erica in East Providence, Julie in Syracuse, New York. I went there once. I did a radio show there a long time ago. Thank you for being here. Renee in Worcester. Haven't been there in a while. Giuseppe in Italy. I guess I'll be seeing you very soon. Marie in Woonsocket. Barbara and Linda. Hello, Barbara and Linda in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Verdi in Connecticut. Cindy in Pawtucket. Nadia in... I don't know. What's MY?
I don't know. There's two people that say MY.
MY. What abbreviation is MY? Anybody know?
I have Debbie from All Sable Forks, MY. I don't know if it's a typo.
Oh, it's New York. Okay.
Okay.
So these guys are from New York. Hello, everybody in New York. Thank you for tuning in this morning. So maybe you're a person waiting for a message to come from the afterlife. Maybe you're waiting for your loved ones to leave a little trinket of something, a little surprise from the afterlife. Like that woman this weekend who got the message from her, from her dad, talking about her as if she was just a little 11-year-old waiting for a dolly. She's going to get one. I'm going to go shopping at some place, somewhere, find a doll with a dog. I don't know when and I don't know how, but I know that I will. And I know that it'll happen. And I know that things will help. That moment will help in some way. So I think our loved ones leave us little trinkets, little morsels, little moments of love, moments of, hey, I'm right here looking over your shoulder, moments that say that we're not alone, moments that say that we're still connected. Mediums have been around and about for a very long time. They've been part of the experience for eons. There's always been someone who's been the communicator, bringing the energy from that space to the physical world. There's always been that kind of experience, and today is no different. And there are plenty of people out there that do wonderful mediumship work. Some people are evidential mediums where they utilize the ability to hear a sound and say a G or a J, and they seem to come to some evolution within their process of telling the story. Well, part of my work is evidential as well. You see here in front of me, I have all these purple papers, and all of them are simply tokens, trinkets, moments that come from the afterlife that tell us that we're not alone at all. And that's what these purple papers do. So I think our loved ones and the universal energy and the God of it all and the flow of it all reminds us through a message that we're not alone, that our loved ones are okay, they're with us, they're proud of us, they're talking to us, they love us, they're grateful, they're sorry, they ask for forgiveness, Or they do a lot of things. And they do a lot of things because that's what they do. They do a lot of things to make a connection to us, right? That's what they want to do. To Debbie in All Sables Forks, New York, thank you so much. To Dawn in Providence, Laurie in Johnston, Linda in Stamford, I'll be in your neck of the woods soon. Jackie in Somerset, Laurie in Mass, Elaine in Connecticut, thank you. Jennifer in Milford, Delaware, guess I'll be seeing you next week. Bonnie in Woonsocket, Bonnie, are you there right now, Bonnie? Bonnie, are you with me right now? I want to know if you're out there. Carrie, let me know if Bonnie checks in. Bonnie, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about your mother. I want to talk to you about a message from your mother.
Yes, she's there.
I want to talk to you about your mother. For some reason, your name is sticking out like it's highlighted on my paper, and I want to share with you something about your mom. I want to share this with you, so I want everybody to help me, please. All of you that are listening, and there are a lot of you tuning in right now, I want you to imagine that in the middle of our circle is Bonnie and her mother. And Bonnie, I just want you to listen, maybe with your eyes closed if you can. Imagine that you're in this circle with your mother, and all of us are standing around you, holding you together, keeping you from falling, keeping you standing strong. And it feels like you're face to face with her. And it's like she's so close to you, and she knows how much you miss her. You had such a long and really an extraordinary life with her. She was a powerful, independent woman, and she taught you how to be the same. She said sometimes you drive past the old neighborhood, or you go past the old places that bring you back to her, that remind you of her. Maybe you went to Eel Fish and Chip a long time ago. Maybe she did. Bonnie, your mother wants me to tell you that she hasn't forgotten you, and that she thanks you for standing with her when she needed help, because she said she needed some help. But she said for the most part of her life, she was a strong, powerful, independent woman, loving her family and wanting you to feel her. You are face to face with her right now if you want to be. So just feel it. Just feel her. Just feel the love. Feel the connection. Feel the joy of being in her presence again, as she feels that same connection for you. She doesn't want you to remember the days of the difficulties or suffering or tension, because there were a couple of them, she says. She talks about the last week or so, last few days or so, and how it was hard. Your mother was full of wisdom and light. She was a nice mother. To Crystal in Rhode Island, Rosie in Georgia, Sarah in Westport, Mass, Noel in Providence, and Marilyn in Uxbridge. Thank you for being with me this morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Now, I made a promise to someone that I would reevaluate or share this message again about Michael. Michael dated 6/2/2018. Hey, Gene, say happy birthday to your husband for me. 6/2/2018. Michael says he is sorry for all that went wrong. And he talks about from the first day of the year, he gave it his best. And then he says by February 20th, it started to get crazier. I started to get more depressed. Nothing worked. Please don't blame yourself. Please. I'm really okay now. Please don't blame yourself. Now, sometimes people look at the purple papers and they say to me, geez, that's my mother, except for the word please. Then it's not your paper. This paper is precise and exact. From Michael's name to the first of the year to February 20th to please don't blame yourself. It's all precise and purposeful. So I don't recall who asked about that purple paper, but I've explained it. I hope that you can see this video now or at a later date and let me know what you're feeling about it, because I think it's necessary. Here's the second paper that's fallen out of the ranks here in all the papers, and it's really, really important for me to share it. On July 26, 2014, I heard a message from Sammy. Now, this is odd, right? Look at this. August 4th, 2015, from Sammy. The interesting thing, it looks like it's written the same way. Right? It's kind of weird. Look at the way my handwriting is. Right? And look at this. It looks different, right? This has caught my attention. So Sammy, who passed before, there are a lot of people asking about Michael now, Carrie. Mm-hmm. It's a person who privately messaged me, and I don't think it's the woman's name I see right there. You'll have to look through and figure out who that was, because I don't seem to remember. So Sammy passed before July 26, 2014, and Sammy went through the last 3 weeks of trying to work something out. Not sure what that is, but I'm okay now. It's me that you feel, touching you in the pictures of the clothes. I'm not sure what it all means, but I know it matters, right? And then this handwriting, which looks very similar to me, dated a year later. Sammy wanted another chance. And then goes on to talk about the last 2 days. I wasn't thinking clearly. I know it's hard to understand. There's something interesting about these two purple papers. I am convinced they are from the same person. I am also convinced that the person must have passed in the warmer months, because every year, at least these 2 years, there's some consistency. There's some consistency in the message. So I'm going to hold on to this. We're going to paper clip these two together. I know they belong together, and I know that I'm going to find the rightful owner of that purple paper, of those two purple papers. You know, so this morning, we talk about the signals that our loved ones give us. They give us lots of them. Every single day, they give us a little this, a little of that. That's enough. A little of this, a little of that. They give us what we need. They give us exactly what we're searching for. And that's the beauty of this. It's the beauty of this experience, that they leave us little experiences. Suzanne in Arizona, Amy in Toledo, Jennifer in Fall River. Maybe I'll see you next week in Swansea, Mass. Lindsay in Cleveland, Tennessee. Thank you so much. Christina in Gloucester. Linda in New Rochelle, New York. Thank you. JB in Syracuse, New York. Got a few people listening up there. Tom in Lakeland, Florida. Thank you so much for can't get my words out. Tuning in this morning. Oh, Carmela and Sonia are listening in. I love that. I love that little girl. She's a sweetie. Laurie in Rutherford, North Carolina. I should have read that before I tried to pronounce it out loud. There's always a problem when you're on live. And Aaliyah in Mahopac, New York. We got people listening from all over the country. Thank you for listening from all over the country this morning. And SJ in Lakeland, Florida. There's a lot of things going on in these places. I'm going to go back to one other purple paper before we come to a close, and that is George. 4/27/2018. George found strength on the other side. I can't believe how I felt after I passed. I really was surrounded by light. And then he goes on to say 2 weeks before he passed, he was heavy. He felt it. He said he was dragging his legs. His body was exhausted, but I'm peaceful. And then he says, oh, guess what happened? After finding my strength, I found my mother. So George, Michael, and Sammy are the purple papers for today. So what are your loved ones doing to communicate with you? What are your people doing to communicate with you? What are they doing to communicate with you? If you have a question about a message here that I've sent, go. Say that again, please.
Someone's asking about the George one.
To-
Sherry, can you reading it?
I just read it. I read the whole thing. George found strength on the other side. This is the message about George. It's hot. My handwriting, please. Carrie has spent 7 years trying to read my handwriting, so... George found strength on the other side. I can't believe how I felt after I passed. I really was surrounded by light. 2 weeks before I passed, I felt very heavy. My legs were dragging. My body was exhausted. Well, I'm really peaceful. Highlighted in yellow. I love that. And then, oh, guess what? I found my strength. And then I found my mother. Okay? I'm going to post these 4 purple papers on my page in a minute or two. And then you can look at them and make some comments there and see where we go with that. Because there is an answer to all those questions. Okay, something's happening. Bonnie, I hope you got all the messages I just gave you. I'm going to share this one too. I might as well. This is 6/9/2018. Now, I want you to hear the story, please. This one's a little bit overwhelming. There is a coffin, casket with a flag draped over it. This is not signed by someone, so I don't know who sent it, but I want you to hear it. I'm glad you insisted on putting the flag there. It made me very happy. No matter what happened to me, you were right. I deserved the flag. It was such a hard life after the war, after the service. I gave it everything I could, but it got me. It really did. Thank you for not forgetting me. This is one of the most profound, I think, because we have no name, but we have a story. You know, it's like all of us here are spiritual investigators trying to understand where this purple paper would fit, right? I'm glad you insisted. Someone out there insisted on putting this flag over this person's casket despite the obstacles he went through. I think it's significant.
Kristen thinks George is her dad.
How that plays out, we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to figure it out. Oh well, might as well just do one more. That's it. After that, Doris. Doris wants to speak of her boy. To speak to her boy, I'm sorry. Doris wants to speak to her boy. You were very good to me. During my later years, you were always there with me, looking out for me, taking care of me. I was so peaceful when I passed. It was the weeks before that were so hard. That paper belongs to you. To all of you that are a part of my journey, thank you. I'm grateful that I share my life with you. I'm grateful that we go on this experience together. Now, for those of you that are in the Swansea, Fall River, Attleboro, Massachusetts area, New Bedford, I'm doing a big fundraiser next week for the domestic, Fall River Domestic, I'm not saying the name right, Coalition for Domestic Abuse, right? Something. And that's wonderful, and I'm glad to be there. And tomorrow night, if you're in Rhode Island, I'm going to be talking for 2 seconds at the Flag for Hope fundraiser in Warwick, Rhode Island at the Sheraton, and it's free. So there's a lot of things going on there. You can you'll see it online. We'll post that too. So I hope to see you tomorrow night and visit my friends Chris and Don because they put this amazing thing together. I'm just going there to tell them how much I appreciate being part of the Flag for Hope. I'll see you soon. I'll see you somewhere. I love you and thank you. And until next time, I send you love. Have a good day, everybody.